Picture a ripe, bright red tomato. Now, turn off the lights. As the room fades to black, that vivid red disappears into the shadows. If a simple change in lighting can alter what you see, how reliable are your eyes in the first place? It is a small optical trick, but it opens up a problem. If our senses can lie to us about the color of a piece of fruit, it is possible they are lying to us about everything else. In 17th century France, philosopher René Descartes looked at the state of human knowledge and realized it was built on this exact kind of shaky foundation. To find an absolute, unshakable truth, Descartes decided he could not simply repair the building. He had to tear down the entire structure of his own beliefs. He called this approach the method of doubt. The rule was strict. If a belief contained even a microscopic fraction of uncertainty, he would throw it out entirely. Science, history, and the physical environment were the first to go. Since human senses sometimes deceive us, Descartes discarded every piece of information he had ever gathered through sight, sound, or touch, systematically shattering the temple of human knowledge. Then he pushed it further. He noted how vivid dreams can be. Because there is no definitive test to prove you aren't dreaming right now, physical reality could simply be a complex, ongoing hallucination. Stripped of his senses and questioning his waking reality, Descartes found himself untethered from the physical universe. But the demolition wasn't finished. To push his doubt to the absolute limit, Descartes proposed a final thought experiment. He imagined a kurnos jinn, or an evil demon. Imagine an entity with immense power, whose sole purpose is to flawlessly deceive your mind at every single moment. Under this hypothesis, the sky, the ground, every color you see, and even the feeling of your own body are nothing more than artificial simulations planted directly into your consciousness. This is philosophical rock bottom. If every single thing you perceive is an illusion engineered by a demon, is there anything left that proves you actually exist? You cannot observe your way out of this trap. Logic, science, and the physical world are useless to save you when the trap itself is your own perception. Right at this point of total surrender, Descartes found a flaw in the demon's perfect illusion. Take a look at this logic tree. The demon can feed a mind endless lies, but the act of deception requires a target. By highlighting this final node, the logic becomes clear. Doubting your own reality requires a something. That thought alone guarantees your existence. Descartes published this realization in 1637. In its original French form, the phrase is "Je pense, donc je suis." I think, therefore I am. You likely know it by its Latin translation, Cogito, ergo sum. It became the definitive bedrock of modern philosophy. He didn't find his absolute truth by looking outward at the physical world. He found it by turning completely inward, hitting the unavoidable reality of his own consciousness. But there is a major misconception about the I in I think. It is fragile. Descartes didn't prove the existence of his personal memories or his physical body. He only proved a single point of self-consciousness existing in the present moment. This creates an architectural problem. How do you rebuild an entire universe of knowledge from one tiny, isolated thought? Descartes established a new rule for reconstruction. He declared that whatever the mind conceives clearly and distinctly must be true. To guarantee this rule held up, he relied on the concept of a perfect, non-deceiving God. For Descartes, this divine perfection acted as the bridge, allowing him to cross from the isolation of his own mind back to trusting the physical reality around him. Philosophers today debate his method for rebuilding the world. Yet, the logic held. He had repositioned the human mind as the starting point for every other truth. This timeline shows that the core concept wasn't entirely new. St. Augustine explored a similar doubt concept back in the 5th century, but Descartes took that theological idea and applied it to modern logic. This approach also gave birth to a permanent unintended consequence, the mind-body problem. By treating the mind as a pure thinking substance, separate from the mechanical parts of the human body, his logic created a philosophical divide. It is a divide that scientists and philosophers still struggle to reconcile today. Descartes dismantled the physical universe just to find a single, undeniable truth. In doing so, he placed human consciousness at the absolute center of reality.